welcome to another interesting edition of Health Watch. Today's edition is a very interesting one. It's one that I'm sure you would love to be part of. You would not love to miss this. Okay, let's look at the things we'll be talking about today. First, we're looking at the effects of traditional medicine on our health and the advantages of traditional medicine over other medicine. Of course, I'm sure you want to ask me, what is traditional medicine? What are we looking at? Our guest today is Dr. Richard, all the way from Cameroon. He will tell us a lot of things that we need to know about this week's topic. Plus, on the Life and Aware, we'll bring you a small feature on what you should know about self-medication. My name is Nkem Okibe. We'll go on a short break. When we return, you'll meet my guest. So stick around. Health Watch will continue in a moment. We'll be right back. Alright, welcome back. If you're just joining us, the program is Health Watch, reaching you on NTA Lagos Channel 10, the station for excellence. And before we went on that break, I told you our focus today is on traditional medicine. Our guest today is a professional and he's an African man. He's a Cameroonian. He has come all the way from Cameroon to share with us his knowledge on traditional medicine. My guest today is Dr. Richard Fru. You're welcome to Health Watch.
Thank you, Ken.
Dr. Richard, let's talk about your attire first before we go to the main focus of the day. Okay, first of all, your cap looks almost like the Igbo cap, aside from the white, the other part that is just the white, and then you're wearing a very beautiful, this embroidered, what I call it. You said it's handmade.
Yeah.
So this beautiful, you're wearing this beautiful costume. Mm-hmm. Lovely. Tell us about it.
Well, for people who have traveled to Cameroon and other parts of the world, they'll easily recognize it because it's the identity of the Northwesterners, that is in the northern part of the English zone in Cameroon.
Okay.
They call it the Grafi people. Yeah, so it is traditional regalia. Okay. They use it for occasions, and most of the time, this is what always represent Cameroon outside.
Okay, and you're a naturopathic doctor and you're dressed like this. It's very interesting to see you dressed like this.
Yeah, a naturopathic doctor, that is natural.
Okay.
Because this is a heritage, a cultural heritage.
All right.
Yes, and that is what we advocate for.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, moving on, let's go back to the focus of today's show. Okay, we're talking about traditional medicine. First, it's important that you let us know, when you say traditional medicine, what are the broad of medicine you're talking about? Where are the extracts from?
Thank you. I think I would just like to give a brief definition of traditional medicine. Then I would like to give that which is authentic, that is well accepted as defined by World Health Organization in 1976. So I'll give that. I love that particular definition of traditional medicine. So the World Health Organization, WHO, defines traditional medicine as the sum total of all knowledge and practices, whether explicable or not, used in the identification, the prevention, alleviation, or the healing of physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual disequilibriums, and based exclusively on knowledge being handed down from generation to generation, either by word of mouth or through writing.
Wow.
So the word say it is knowledge that is acceptable, whether explicable or not, and it is based exclusively on knowledge handed down, not tested in the laboratory, on knowledge handed down from generation to generation, either through just passing orally or putting down, penning it down, writing it down, and people read. So that is traditional medicine. So when you come to traditional medicine is a practice that tells us within the three kingdoms of nature, the plants kingdom, the animal kingdom, and the mineral kingdom. Okay. Then when it comes to the mineral kingdom, we don't go into inorganic minerals. We mostly concentrate on organic minerals, which are safe for human health. So that is how we operate in traditional medicine. We use plants and everything in the universe that is natural to bring solace, to bring healing to humanity and the environment.
Now tell us, what would you say are the effects of traditional medicine on our health?
Traditional medicine, when many people are so confused. You see people criticizing traditional medicine, whereas they actually live on traditional medicine. Let me give what the acclaimed father of medicine, even though he's not the real father of medicine, just politics, Hippocrates, what he said: let thy food be medicine and food be medicine. It means that anything called food should have medicinal properties, and anything called medicine should have food properties, should have food value. That is the first thing. Before I continue, I want to pose this question to the Nigerian population, to the world population, that what you are taking as medicine, does it have food value? What you are consuming as food, does it have medicinal value? Can you use it to heal somebody? What you eat as food? If you ask these questions, then you start seeing how to adjust what you take into the body.
In terms of food and medicine.
Take food and medicine, because anything you eat as food must be something that you can use to cure somebody who is sick. And anything you take as medicine should be something that you can use to give somebody who is hungry to eat as food. So we ask this question, and that is what Hippocrates said people should practice. Even doctors who graduate in the school of medicine, they take what is known as a Hippocratic oath. That is the oath they take, that they are going to how to follow up what Hippocrates. Unfortunately today, in the modern world, they take the oath, but what they give out don't have those qualities.
Wow.
Yes, because of the modern system we are involved into, the Android system, the system that is adulterated, the system that everything is corrupt, the minds are corrupt, people in high places are corrupt, so we no longer respect what we take the oath to respect. Yes.
If you tell the average Nigerian or the common man and you say traditional doctor, first thing that comes to the person's mind is like, traditional doctor. Oh, I talking about a herbalist. Is that a herbalist? And so they want to. There's a mix up.
Yeah. Yes.
Traditional medicine, a traditional doctor,
Yes.
and a herbalist and a spiritualist.
Yes.
The three of them. There's so much confusion. So once you just mention, I have this friend of mine as a traditional doctor. Everybody's like, you're well educated. You're exposed. What are you doing, that kind of person? So because you mentioned school now, so it's good you just run us through. What does it feel like going to school and all that? What are the courses you did and all that? Just give us an idea of what it feels like. So that people that are looking up to be like you, of course, I'm sure that there are also doctors out there that really want to do such venture into what you're doing. So I don't know. Tell us about it.
There's a lot of misinformation outside coming from people whom the West is using to blackmail African culture, African knowledge systems, to blackmail our traditions. They pass through the church, religion, they pass through those who have been educated and brainwashed in that system to destroy African culture. And that is why, even till today, we still order Neva Queen from abroad. Even the pants we put on, we still get from abroad. After we go and sing, speak in tongues in church, we still come back and buy toothpick from Chinese. So you see, they brainwash us. We hate ourselves, hate our own, and promote that of the West, that of the Chinese, that of the Asians. That is why African is behind, the black man is behind. I started practicing as a full traditional doctor in 1995. When I opened my first clinic to get the medicine. I started working with the delegation of public health from 1996-97. And that is when I started growing. It's not school. If I went too far in education, I would have been very stupid. Because education is what educast comes from the Greek word educa, mean bringing out. But what we have now is education, not education. Indu mean putting in
Into
stuff
yourself.
instead of edu, bringing out. So if I went far, I would have been brainwashed. I would start quoting, but somebody somewhere quoting white man. But what I'm doing today is what people quote me. I come up with my inventions. I write books. I started writing books in 1997-98, and people were buying all over the world about medicinal plants. So I educate. The knowledge I have, there's nobody in my family that practices traditional medicine.
At this point, let's go on a break.
Yes.
We'll go on a break now. When we return, you'll be telling us the advantages of traditional medicine over other medicine.
Yeah.
The program is still Health Watch. We'll go on the break. When we return, our guest will be telling us more on traditional medicine. Stay with us. If you're just joining us, the program is Health Watch, and we've been talking on traditional medicine. Our guest, Dr. Richard Fru, is still on the house. Before we went on that break, you said a whole lot about traditional medicine. You talked about how we have to do what you call it, education, not education. Education takes
what we are practicing now is education, not education.
Education, and it's important we talk about the advantages of traditional medicine over other medicine.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, traditional medicine is the bedrock of all medicine in the universe.
Okay.
Before the coming of allopathy or allopathic medicine or orthodox medicine or synthetic medicine or artificial medicine or Western medicine, traditional medicine has been the medicine that has been existing. All other medicine came just within the 18th, 19th century. But from onset, millions of years, it is traditional medicine that has been helping the people, everybody, everywhere. So traditional medicine is the bedrock of all medicine and remain the future of medicine. Why? Traditional medicine has advantages over all other medicine because, number one, traditional medicine is natural. Even though not everything, there are people now in traditional medicine who are adulterating it. You see somebody who get leaves, go and buy capsules, put there and cook. So there are fake people outside, or because out of ignorance, that are destroying traditional medicine. They adulterate it. People buy acid battery, mix and put in things, as selling people that 200 disease, spoiling traditional medicine. But people who practice with conscience, because the first thing is conscience, who practice in conscience, that real medicine has a lot of advantages. Why? Traditional medicine is the best because it does not go into the body to attack bacteria, microbes, and so on. Traditional medicine goes to energize the system, detoxify the system, pump nutrients into the system, then help the system to fight its battle. It is a system after that gaining consciousness, power, vitality, vigor. It decides now on what to send out or what to allow in. Because naturally, people who live well don't need medicine.
Okay.
If you say people who need medicine, that will ask a question. What about the animals in the wild? Who cures them? Do they have doctors? They eat everything. They don't wash the food. They take in the bacteria, the viruses. Things bite them, mosquito bite them, but they don't fall sick. Why? Because they follow the principles. They eat naturally. Once you eat naturally, you live well. You don't have any problem with bacteria, parasite, or germ. You can drink even from the dirtiest water, eat all the dirty things, they won't harm you because life is all about energy. So traditional medicine is all about energy, exercise of power and energy. So what traditional medicine goes to the system to clean it, detoxify it, the blood, the organs, the kidneys, the heart, the liver, the brain, the nerve, the tissue, everything purified. That's the first healing. But all other medicines, they don't detoxify. They only go to look for an incriminated microbe to kill.
Let's also talk about the disadvantages of traditional medicine.
Because this is very important. Every day we put dirt in our body is what is making us sick, but we don't know. To the system, so let me go in relative to the system. Because what is dirty to the system may be pure for another system or somewhere else. For the human system, what is considered dirt for the system is what the creator of man, human, did not include in man's menu of diet.
So you are saying that death, in a nutshell, is what God says, don't eat this. That's
You
death.
eat, me is dead.
God says, don't eat this. It's death.
So if I get up in the morning, I eat orange, but you go and buy what you call sweet drinks, mineral, you drink, that's death. You get up, you eat sugar, that's death. So you keep dirtying the body. You eat all the foul birds that have grown with all type of chemicals,
So
hormones,
all processed foods are
processed food, they're dirt. So when you put dirt in your body, what do you expect? If you get up in the morning, you're supposed to put good engine oil in the car. You go and put palm oil in it. What will happen with the car? So we keep putting bad food, bad fuel into the system, and the system lacks energy, it becomes sick and crashes. And that is where we provide a low energy environment for microbe to thrive, and all those things are the medium where they grow. Yeah.
Okay, then let's look at the disadvantage. You talk about the advantage. You talk about the fact that it gives us energy, and of course the medium through which is being processed and all that.
Yeah.
So what are the disadvantages of traditional medicine?
Yeah, I don't know. I think there's nothing really bad about traditional medicine, except we want to talk about the practices in traditional medicine by quacks.
Okay.
When you talk about traditional, what is traditional medicine? Even though it's not everything about tradition that is good, we are doing everything to make sure we sanctify the traditional medicine, and we are doing that. But if you see the definition I gave, which well defined, that it is knowledge handed down. It means that it is knowledge that has been proven within time immemorial that it is good. When you are preparing your akpu and ogbono, do you need to carry it into the lab to test? It's knowledge. Even the scientists, they have not asked whether you have carried that medicine to the lab. Go, food is medicine. You are preparing all the traditional meals. It's not handed there. You don't need to carry it into the laboratory. So it's just that when we change the name of that food, we say medicine, they question. But if we prepare the medicine and say food, no scientist will question. So everything about traditional medicine is good, unless it is an ill practice by people who are not experienced, who just dive into it because they want to make money that make it bad.
Wow, wonderful, 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 wonderful. You said a whole lot. Very quickly, in just 1 minute, tell us, what are the efforts being put in place by people like you? I'm sure that you should have an association of traditional doctors. What are the efforts being put to ensure that, to a large extent, traditional medicine is being approved by the regulatory bodies?
Yeah, now I'm in your country. If you come back to my country, traditional medicine is more advanced here because the government have put in more effort than my country. So in my country, it's still tailing behind. But we are working hard, putting pressure on those who are under the tentacles of Western medicine companies who are using them to suppress the growth of African medicine. So we are mounting pressure, we are working hard. There's a revolution going on that traditional medicine is being researched into, being propagated. We make sure that we work on the quality, efficacy, and we make sure we also work on the safety to society. We improve on it. Then we have also created a study environment where we train people on the type of medicine we practice now. But we are working to make sure that traditional medicine regain its lost status, regain some sort of portfolio that will attract the systems into it.
Thank you so much. Thank you very
You're
much,
welcome.
Dr. Richard Frew. We've been speaking with Dr. Richard Frew. He's a nature care doctor, a naturopathic doctor, and he has said a whole lot about natural medicine. Thank you for coming on Health Watch.
Thank you. I'm happy for you. Appreciate the invitation giving me to come and talk over Health Watch over your TV.
Thank you very much. Moving on, the next feature is on self-medication. On Life and Aware this week, we're looking at effects of self-medication. A lot of people go to the counter, over the counter, and pick drugs, especially when they don't even do any test. Just assume that, oh, I have malaria, oh, I have typhoid, let me just treat myself. Find out on this feature what you should know about the effects on self-medication. We'll be right back.
When we talk about self-medication, it's almost beginning to look like it's a habit that people have formed and they see it as it's normal. Because you say that it's self-medication and it's wrong, but they feel that that's what they have to do. If you look at Lagos State as it is, it's a busy place. People don't want to go and waste time anywhere. So they want to just walk into the pharmacy and say, oh, give me this, give me that. You'll be surprised sometimes when they come, they know what they want. They must have read it or somebody told them to go and buy. And most time they will tell you, I've used it, it worked for me, it will work for you. So it depends on what they've discussed with somebody else. So self-medication is when you don't have any prescriber giving you a guide on what to take, and then you want to take it for yourself the way you feel or as you have been advised. We used to have a saying that the bitterness of self-medication come years after you've forgotten the sweetness of self-prescribing to yourself. Because you can prescribe something that will give you a side effect that you don't even know where it came from, but it was due to that self-medication that you did. Some common things about self-medication, when you do it, it could make a drug that will effect a cure become useless. Because when you take a medication that you are not supposed to take at that point in time, sometimes when you self-medicate, you can overdo it or underdo it. When you take the underdose, the next time you need that particular medication, it will not work for you, like antibiotics. The antibiotics you take for a period of 5 days, sometimes when they self-medicate, they will just come, just give me one, give me two, they just take it like that. And this group of people who self-medicate in that way, we do it over and over again. So the system get used to that kind of taking just 2 capsules or 3 and that's it. And the time they need it, maybe in an emergency, they can't even talk, and then they need to use the same medication for them, it becomes useless because the system has been, abused with that medication. Then it will not be effective anymore. That could be another one side effect. And then another one, it could even be irreversible. You take a drug that you are terribly allergic to, or because of adverse effects, you find yourself in an unconscious state. You can't even say what you took. Like if you are prescribed a drug, you can refer back to the doctor. The doctor will say, oh, this is what I give to the person. This is the antidote to be used. But you self-medicate this one. We don't know what antidote to give you because we don't know what you took in the first place. Because the first place when you see your patient, your client coming, it's advisable you ask them, why do you want to use this medication? Sometimes they want to use even a more complicated medication compared to what they feel. But by the time you get talking to them, then you can advise them. So we have to keep talking. Advocacy is key. We're not going to keep quiet. We'll keep talking. We'll keep telling them, and we advise also. But it comes to a point, your client, when they come, they believe in what you tell them. So they begin to ask you. So we direct them. Sometimes we even tell them, most time now we try to collaborate with 1 or 2 doctors. Like if there is a condition that they have to talk about, we can advise them to see the medical doctor and come back with a prescription. And if it's a common thing that can be done over the counter, we advise them immediately and then we guide them through. And because you follow up with your client, once you give them the medication, you make sure, are they okay? Is it affecting the cure that they desire? With that, they begin to trust you more and then desist from self-medication.
And that's much we can take on this week's edition of Health Watch. Trust me, we had a beautiful package today, and I'm sure you enjoyed every bit of it, from traditional medicine to the effects of self-medication. Remember what today's doctor said. He talked about the fact that your food is medicine to your soul, and medicine also is food to your soul. In a nutshell, make sure you eat a balanced diet that contains all classes of food, from carbohydrates to protein to minerals. Just make sure you eat very well. And of course, rest very well. Of course, take care of yourself. And of course, drink a lot of water. Send us a mail to okibinkem@gmail.com or healthwatch NTA Lagos Channel 10 @gmail.com, or send a text only to 07060865487. Remember that health conscious people live longer. My name is Nkem Okibi. See you next week.